mic to you as usual. Coach?
Good afternoon, everybody. Great day in the building with the guys. Great energy. Obviously, they know the challenge that we have here at the end of the week. Opportunity for us to point out a lot of the positives from the other day. Thought we played extremely hard, played smart for a good portion of the football game. Had some young guys that had their first action or their first action on an offense or defensive unit that took advantage of those opportunities, played extremely well. I'm proud to see that. Great learning lesson for all of our guys inside of our program. And then there were things that we have an opportunity to correct too. And I think guys took the coaching on that side of it. The coaches took the coaching too. That's all of us. Got a chance to get better. We're going to need to be better as we go into this stretch. Ole Miss is a really good football team. Looking forward to an electric atmosphere this weekend. We need everybody in orange and white at the stadium. Be there early, be loud, and make it a hostile environment for the opponent that's coming in. A really good football team that we're facing in all three phases. Obviously, offensively, their quarterback's a special player and has done a tremendous job here this season in particular, but last season as well. Dynamic playmaker that we got to make it tough on him all night long. Got to do a great job of bottling him up as well. So with that, I'll open it up for some questions here.
Let's start with Vince, then go to Wes.
Josh, two things. One, talk about your familiarity with Jeff Levy, obviously quarterbacks coach OC at UCF, and that familiarity, how you think that plays out today.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff does a great job. Was our quarterbacks coach at UCF when I first got the job there. Highly competitive guy, does a great job. You can see offensively that there's a rhyme and reason behind everything they're doing. They're going to put defenses in conflict, up tempo, similar to what we do, and I think we're the top two teams as far as plays per minute in Power 5 football. They do a great job of being balanced and creating big plays too. It starts with the quarterback, but they're really efficient in the run game. Him being a part of that as well. Does a great job on scrambles too. So even though you want to push the pocket on him, you got to do a great job of bottling him up. And they got special playmakers on the outside too.
How much do you use and have shaped your opinions on in-game decisions based on analytics? What role does that play for you?
Yeah, for sure. It's a part of what we do for sure. As soon as I became a head coach, we started looking into that. Used it when I first got there. Still use it. A lot of it is that gives you the parameters. At the end of the day, then you still go with situational football and what the flow of the game is and where you feel like you're at, offense, defense, and special teams to make the final decision.
I think a lot of us who are not football coaches look at y'all's offense and look at Ole Miss's offense, and you see a lot of shotgun stuff, a lot of spread stuff, a lot of tempo. But how similar are the two plans of attack? I mean, is what they do that similar to what y'all do? And if it is, does that help your defense a little bit?
There's similarities. Everywhere you go, your offense is going to be different based on the personnel. What I've done at Missouri to UCF to here is different just based on your personnel and year to year with your personnel too. The overall structure is similar in that you're trying to put people in conflict. You're trying to play with tempo and use that as a weapon against the defense.
Austin?
Coach Juwan Mitchell's status this week, where's he at with everything?
Yeah, Jawan, of the guys that weren't able to play last week, is probably the one guy he is the one guy that won't be with us on Saturday. I believe a majority of them have an opportunity to get back and play for us. Jawan will be out here for the rest of the season, had shoulder surgery, so he will not be with us.
Ben, then Adam.
Josh, how would you assess how you all have done in pass protection from a running back standpoint this year, and how the group up front as a whole, including the backers and the tight ends, have done picking up blitzes?
At times we've been highly efficient. At times we haven't. There were a few the other day that it's a combination of offensive line, tight ends, at times being in the protection too, and running backs. We've been really solid at times at all those positions, and at other times we've been deficient. So we need to be better in that and can be better.
A couple things on injuries, just to clarify: Tyne, Jabari, Cooper, Theo, and Slaughter, they are back this week.
believe that all the guys that were not able to play this past week will have an opportunity to be back with us this week.
And on injuries, you guys have done a really good job of filling in spots, or at least obviously Turnage is the latest one. How do you approach that psychologically during the week when somebody knows there's a guy out? Do you say you have to step up, or do you even address it to the guy?
Guys know that they have to step up when they're in there getting those reps. At times you don't know. Brandon didn't know till the very end of the week that he was going to be the guy. You know, it's who you are and what you're about every day inside of your building. We talk a lot about if you're not, you know, overly excited about what your role was this past week, you got to keep investing. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Brandon's a great example of being prepared when his opportunity came, and he's done a great job on special teams. Gets an opportunity last Saturday to start. Does a great job in alignment, assignment, technique, and communication, playing with great effort, and then doing a great job of tackling in space.
Rob, then Patrick.
Coach, where is Hendon a better quarterback here in October than he was in August?
Confidence, comfort, decision making, taking care of the football, all that comes with some time on task inside of the offense. You know, whether it's, you know, check and run, check and run pass, whether it's RPO game, whether it's drop back, better decision making. The more time you have in it, the more comfort you have, the ability to handle and play within himself while we're playing with tempo, all of those things. He's become a better, more vocal, more ownership on the football field, in the locker room with our team as well.
Coach, with Mitchell being out, guys like Beasley, Banks, and Page continue to play their linebacker, how would you kind of evaluate how they've done over the course of the season? Do you see them getting better?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we're doing that at every position too as you go through the season. Good teams, good players get better as you go through the season. That's why your practice habits are extremely important. You're going to gain reps during the course of a game too, and learn from all those situations that you're in. Like what those guys have done, their ability to recognize formations, communicate, get second and third level and first level all in sync. Done a really good job in some of the pressures. You know, the other day we let one get out at quarterback. Just we can be better there in pinning the QB in, understanding the situation. But overall, like what they've done.
Coach, Brandon Turnage was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. What did you see from him on Saturday?
Congratulations to him. But a young man that, you know, since he's come in the building, has had great work habits and has continued to invest. And you know, battled a little bit of injury during training camp, which set his timetable back maybe just a little bit. Guy's done a good job on special teams when given the opportunity. Has continued to invest, has great knowledge, ability to play multiple spots. Gets his opportunity last Saturday, smart, competitive, and played with great effort and played with great technique. Proud of what he did on Saturday.
Coach, along with Coach Banks, how do you feel like the defense has just kind of executed the game plan since the beginning of the season right here at the halfway point?
Yeah, I think we continue to get better, fewer missed assignments. We're better in our communication. I think our ability to be multiple has been important in our success. I think our guys have a better grasp of the technique, in particular in our front seven. And, you know, we've had some things, or some young guys have to play, in particular on the back end. Those guys have stepped in and done a really nice job, too. I think there's just, as you go through the season, and in particular your first season, there's more comfort and understanding of what you're doing, ability to go out and perform at a higher level.
Brent, and back to Wes.
Two things. One, when you looked at the tape in the second half, what did you see there? Was that them adjusting? Was that you? And then secondly, most anticipate this being a high-scoring game Saturday. As a play caller, does that challenge your patience in any way when it seems like there's kind of a race for points with the style of offensive play?
Yeah, I don't think you want to go into this one just assuming that it's going to be a race for points. Every game's going to unfold differently. You got to play situational football. You want to make sure that you're getting the first down, moving the football. But you know, the game will unfold as it kind of unfolds. Each game has its own identity a little bit. Your first question was?
Second half, when you watched the tape, what was
your
takeaway offensively?
Yeah. Not taking anything away from them, but a lot of ownership on our side of things that we didn't do that need to be better for us to perform at a higher level. Simple things, like really simple things that we did in the first half that we didn't do in the second half.
Was that a mental thing or physical?
Yeah, I talked about after the game kind of being on that competitive edge and being on the right side of it. There's a really fine line, and we were not on the right side of that, and that's why your focus isn't where it needs to be, and all of a sudden some simple, everyday, ordinary things that you need to be doing weren't done at the level that we need them to be done at.
Josh, it was just one game, but with the way Brandon played at that spot, Theo's been so good there most of the season, at least from this vantage point, he's looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Both those guys have the versatility to move around a little bit if you decide you want to get both of them on the field?
Yeah, they both do have the ability to move to multiple spots and perform at a really high level, I think.
We'll go to Blake at the time.
Yeah, Josh, you mentioned that your system kind of varies a little bit from spot to spot, but you've been running this tempo and like a similar style system for a long time now. Why did you think that this type of system would be something that could have a lot of success in Power 5 football?
I've been a part of tempo dating back to 2008 at Oklahoma. We played in the Fiesta Bowl and got beat by West Virginia and made a transition that offseason from 2007 to 2008 with a bunch of guys that were returning. So we've played with tempo at different times in the offenses, some of it just based on your personnel, experience with the quarterback, and what you felt like the head coach may have felt like the style of play between the three phases, what he wanted that to be. Tempo is a form of pressure that you can apply on a defense. The last 5 years in particular, we've ran it at a pretty regular pace, I guess, offensively. It's a portion of what we do. It has the ability to stress the defense. Our spacing has the ability to do that too. I think it helps your five guys up front during the course of play too, and so you incorporate that into your game when you can.
Eric and Jake.
What are the challenges Ole Miss defensively are they going to present for you guys?
Yeah, they're playing with 6 DBs, multiple, and what you're seeing on the back end, and then their fits too. They've done a great job of creating turnovers as far as fumbles. They do a great job of ripping it out and punching it. Haven't given up a ton of big time over the top plays. Plays off on the back end of it a little bit. So they make you snap it again and again a little bit. For us offensively, got to be highly efficient. Starts with us in the run game, and then got to be able to make plays out on the perimeter.
Coach, at your previous stop, you faced Lane Kiffin a couple times when he was at FAU. Can you just speak to that familiarity and what, if anything, you take from those games into this week?
Yeah, for sure. You understand that he's going to be aggressive in certain situations, playing with 4 downs quite a bit on both sides of the football field. I think defensively, our players and our coaches certainly need to understand that going into the football game. Does a good job with his personnel, finding ways to put them in a position to be successful. He's done it with a lot of different styles of offense.
Rob in the middle, and then to Madison in the back.
Coach, I think, not that we're experts, but I think most of us sitting out here would have said if you're going to be good at receiver this fall, you would have had a couple of sophomores really step up. But instead, you've had 3 seniors that have exceeded anything they ever done before their careers as far as productivity. Did you see that coming in the spring? I think those, like Cedric and Martinez, have that in them.
Yeah, I thought Cedric really continued to grow. I think I spoke to him during spring ball. Each, third of spring ball, the first 5, second 5, third 5, you saw him make a real jump in who he was as a player, his work ethic, his attention to detail, being in the meeting room, spending extra time. That's allowed him to really grow and gain confidence, and that showed in the way that he's played. When Javonte got here, it felt like he would have an opportunity to help us athletically. His experience inside of the league felt like would allow him to grow pretty quickly. It was how fast he was going to grasp what we were doing offensively. He's done a really good job there. Bayless had a fantastic spring, had the ability to play outside. We brought Javonte in, didn't know where Bayless was going to end up, knew that he was going to help us. Got hurt early in training camp, missed really almost all of training camp. Getting him back healthy and then up to speed was something that had to transpire the first couple of weeks. Those guys have played really well. They've been good as far as being able to read coverage and settle down in zones, be in the right spot versus man-to-man for the quarterback. They've won one-on-ones. They've taken great care of the football at this point when they had the ball in their hands. Bayless has done a tremendous job, yards after the catch. We felt like that group had a chance to grow. I still feel like their best football is still here in the back half of the season, but they got a great understanding of what we're doing right now.
Coach, coming into Saturday, South Carolina's defense had forced a turnover in every game this season. Their team has now not given up a turnover in 3 games in SEC play. How much would you just credit that to the comfort of that these players are showing within your system?
Yeah, I think a part of it is decision-making, comfort in what we're doing. I think a part of it is protection. The quarterback's doing a good job of taking care of the football, too. I do think guys with the ball in their hands have done a great job. It's something that we practice and rep every single day. It's how we start our practice once we get done with our walkthrough. They've taken ownership of it. They've done a great job of taking care of it. It's going to be critical in this football game. You can't give away possessions and give them short fields.
Vince, then Ben.
You mentioned after the game that your turnaround would be pretty quick. Typically, you're talking about a 24-hour rule. How much of a grind is that for you? Like, are you turning the page like the second you walk away from the podium? How quickly are you turning around after a game?
Well, I went and recruited for a couple hours with guys that we had on campus and turned it around before dinner hit. I started watching video, and now it's about how you're getting better from what you saw on the video. For your players, I think it is important that they enjoy it Saturday night, they enjoy it on Sunday. Then when you come back in the building on Monday, now it's time to learn from it, you know what I mean, and gain that experience and push forward to the next week.
Josh, I'd imagine with Jawan being out, y'all would like to get a fourth linebacker in the mix. Is Aaron Willis, Morgan Joseph, those guys any close to maybe getting out there?
Aaron's a guy that's traveled with us the last couple of weeks, continues to grow in understanding of what we're doing defensively.
Couple more, Brent and Rick.
Yeah, Coach, how would you assess this team's downfield blocking from the receiver position, tight end position?
I think at times it's been really good. Some of the big runs that you've seen, some of the perimeter screens that have gone for chunk plays, that happens because your skill guys on the perimeter are doing a great job. We can still be more consistent in our habits there, but like a lot of what we've seen through the course of the first part of the season.
Coach, in the past, Tennessee has done things such as checkerboarding with the fans and in the stadium. How much do you kind of feel like that does play an effect, just certain gimmicks or things going on in the stadium with the fans to the team?
Shoot, I'm into whatever our fans want to do on Saturday night for this one. I think you want to play an exciting brand of football. You want to compete really hard, bring fans to the stands. I think we're doing that right now. And then you want your fans to enjoy the moment, man. And Saturday night will be a great environment. Need it to be a hostile environment. We need to make it tough for those guys to communicate, and our fans understanding that they're playing with tempo and their communication. We need to make it loud and make it uncomfortable for them.
Any other questions for Coach?